Thank you for tuning in to Love Manifesto Podcast. I am your host and executive producer, Dr. Tangi. The premise for the show is to explore, to analyze, and to manifest thriving platonic, intimate, and business relationships. I am elated about unpacking some very important things that I think you should know about the film industry with Mr. Christopher Martin, who is what? A model, an actor,
Stop.
a curator, a host, and a humanitarian. Did I forget anything?
Devilishly good looking, but they can see it on
You,
camera.
you know what? You know what? You're such an excellent host. I want you
Uh-huh.
to introduce the show in the way that you do so fabulously.
Okay. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this amazing edition of Love Manifesto, hosted by yours truly, Christopher Martin, the Fashion Plate. My special guest today is rocking this lovely turquoise dress, and her name is Dr. Tangi. Everybody put your hands together for this amazing woman, Dr. Tangi.
He is so phenomenal. You know, you guys, if you want to add excitement to any event that you have,
Exactly.
the fashion plate.
That's what I thrive on is excitement, energy, giving the people a show. You know what I mean? When you got the microphone, you got the power. That's what I say. He who holds the microphone has the power. So I love hosting.
And you have different slogans that you have. Share a couple of them with us and tell us how did you derive at those particular slogans.
Yeah, one of my favorite is where you are always in style. I got the nickname the Fashion Plate when I was actually in college. Played college football back in the late 80s and won best dressed in high school. So when I went to college, I wore slacks, pants, button-up shirts, styles of the 80s. And older football players on the team were like, why are you dressing up going to class? Sweats, jeans, and whatever they threw on. And some other guys start calling me the Fashion Plate back then as a way to tease me. But as I got into the business, got in broadcast journalism years later, as time progressed, picked the nickname back up and made it my moniker. And, as I do my thing, as I signature line, like the Fashion Plate, where you're always in style. And you know what I mean? And just certain things like that. Let's show up and show out tonight. Certain phrases that just, add to the branding.
Well, you're an actor. Tell me,
Yeah.
how did you decide to go into acting and some of the things that you've done already
Yeah.
that you think will inspire our audience?
Fell into acting bass backwards, so to speak. Again, going back to my college days, playing football, I thought, I could go pro. And after a couple years out there, we figured out, no, we might need to find something to do. And was trying to stay eligible on scholarship and needed some classes to boost my GPA. And I remember Dr. Tangi looking through the college registrar, as an athlete, you can pick your classes, you get your books, they move you along through, and needed some classes. And I remember seeing the School of Journalism. And that's where I saw broadcast TV, I saw acting, improv. And it was like, well, I can pass these, you know what I mean? Let's not mess with calculus, algebra, cultural anthropology this semester. Let's get something to get the old GPA up. And once I got in there and saw like the camera and being a disc jockey and taking improv, you know what I mean? It clicked. And that's where I led me down my path to be in entertainment. And I tell kids all the time, people I mentor, college, you can learn what you want to be there. You know what I mean? Outside of life experience, but you can find your major and really find what you can be in life. So moved to Atlanta. That's late '80s. Move the story up a little bit. Get to Atlanta. I was actually in St. Louis, disc jockey at a major radio station. Got into acting there. But when I moved to Atlanta in 2009 is when I really wanted to lay my roots down. Heard of this guy named Tyler Perry. You know what I mean? And he was really just beginning to churn. And got involved, got me an agent down here. I had history was with other agencies in St. Louis and stuff. So I, had a foundation and got here and just got into the mix, auditions, all of that stuff. And to get to your question about, I've been in Tyler Perry stuff, stuff for Jupiter Entertainment, all those crime reenactments. Played Little Jordan's dad in the Will Packer film, Little, Marseille Martin, Supreme Feather in My Cap. But I tell people, like, it takes work. You got, so much talent. If you need acting lessons, whatever you think you need, invest in yourself because you're your own best instrument. Don't fool yourself. Don't lie to yourself. Be real with yourself. And don't disrespect the game. Don't disrespect the acting art. And you gotta put the work in. The overnight sensations or the people getting found like that are few and far between. So put the work in.
So, what is your ultimate goal
Yeah.
in the acting industry, film industry?
Uh, Ultimate goal, if I had to put like one, it's kind of two part. Ultimate goal would be I want to play the Michael Corleone, um, Benny Siegel. I want to play a gangster, drug lord, guy that it all centers around. You know what I mean? Just, you know what I mean? That power De Niro. But however that role could be, even like Forrest Whitaker when he played the last King of Scotland, Idi Amin. But just somebody sinister, even if he's a historical figure, and really just lay that role down. That's one goal as a role. But overall, is to continue to work as a working actor, series regular. We've had some recurring roles, but to continue to work, elevate the craft, get new challenging roles, and just, yeah, work. That's the goal.
Wow. Well, I didn't see that coming in terms of the type of character you want to play.
Right, because I'm such a nice guy, so to speak, or
Yes.
friendly Bob, or you know what I mean, the dad. But you know what I mean. That's what, as actors, we want to be challenged. So the role would be challenging to me, Dr. Tangi. So that's why it may have, yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned the word challenge.
Hello, Sam Wagner, pastor of New Foundation Church International here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I hope you come and join one of our worship services with us real soon. Join us on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and Sundays at 10 a.m. Just know this, we're here to help you to grow in your faith so that you can walk by faith and not by sight. God bless.
Let's say I'm the director
Okay.
of a TV series or a movie,
Right.
and I say to you, okay, Mr. Martin,
I
I
like
want you
that.
to do a monologue for me
Right.
for the type of role that you're most interested in.
Right.
And if I like it, I will cast you for that part. In fact, if it's not in the script, I'll create it for you.
Now we talking. Now we getting somewhere.
So, what would you do if you had?
Well, I do have a monologue, and I won't break it out, but that it's funny you say that. I would break the monologue out, and it's one where an older brother has brought his younger brother who's been messing up in life, trying to help him, but the little brother comes and is playing games with his nephew, eating up his food, and he has that come to Jesus moment where he tells him, like, you're going to get a job, you're going to get your life together. If you don't, I'm not mom and dad. I'll put your butt out in the streets. I love you, but we're not going through this. I'm not mom and dad. Tomorrow you will get up. You will get on monster.com, indeed.com, and you're going to find you a job, or you're going to find yourself out there in the streets. And
You
that's
know,
basically the monologue, almost word for word, because I've done it so many times. And I made my monologue myself. And an acting tip, there's plenty of monologues out there, but if you have something, a life experience or a story that you know what I mean? Because this monologue is kind of how my dad talked to me years ago when we were on a different path. So I took the dad son and made it brother brother. But those type of experiences, that kind of feeling and emotion adds to your character. So don't always go find a monologue. If there's something you can read, or excuse me, you can write or formulate in a minute or two on your life experience, use that because it's natural. I feel it and it connects every time I do it. Yeah.
wow. Thank you for that tidbit. We really need well, someone out there surely needed to hear
Right.
it. I like to know what your thoughts are about so many people flocking to Atlanta, Georgia in
Great question.
pursuit of an acting career.
Well,
And
yeah, I do have an opinion. I'm
no,
sorry I
no, no,
interrupted
go
you.
ahead, go ahead.
Um, when I moved here in 2009, I was that person. You know what I mean? My big sister, shout out to her, Lynn, is really big in the industry out in LA, and had been out there 30 years. And some conversations when I
Lynn
was
who? So,
Lynn Martin, she's behind the
okay,
scenes. Yeah,
okay.
yeah, she's not an actor. She's director, production, all of that stuff. Some sisterly advice, person in the business advice when I was looking to leave St. Louis, and finally did in 2009. So she was like, and again, this guy Tyler Perry, Atlanta, go check it out, blah 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 blah. Here things are really great out there. She's like, LA's here, but just really hearing great things about Atlanta. So made the move here. Uh, and even at that time, you thought it was competitive. You know what I mean? I remember going on auditions, and it would be like 7 or 8 guys, who
Hmm.
looked like me, 4 to 5, and this is when in-person auditions were still pretty big. Now it's mostly taped auditions. But fast forward to like 2000, I'm here 5, 6 years. I'm going in auditions now. They're like 20 brothers in here. Like, well, god dang, nobody's going to Los Angeles. We need to hit the gym, get some teeth whitener, clip my nails, like really learn these lines because they've got more to pick from. But people flocking here is a good thing. And a bad thing, so to speak. The good thing is it lets you know that there's plenty of work here, plenty of African American stuff that's being shot, catered to our stories, catered to our ethnicities, our idiosyncrasies, and that's a beautiful thing. Shout out to all the streaming channels, all the all blacks, bounce TVs, because and I'll give him credit because Tyler Perry really opened up a lot of doors. So as you flock here, and I liken it to the rap culture here, because Atlanta, you could name off 16 rappers in the music scene, opened up the door to a lot of people who wanted to rap, or, and I'm not being funny, thought they could rap. And it's the same thing with acting. A lot of people have acting, but a lot of people think they can act. And if you got the passion, then and you don't have the talent, or it's not there quite yet, because to get in front of that camera, you know what I mean? You can remember your lines when they say action and stuff starts moving. I done seen people freeze up, or some takes to get it right.
Hmm.
That's an emotion and an anxiety that you gotta all put together and still give the character.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So when people are coming here, flocking here, don't come because you think it's a great way to make money or it's going to boost your Instagram. You know what I mean? Come with the desire to really learn the craft. And if you got the craft, to come here and work and and add to the scene. Just don't look at it as a money hustle, because people will smell that, sense that, and you might find yourself toiling in not booking because maybe your intentions aren't pure.
You got it. Yeah. Here it goes.
Got it. Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And we like to pause because we're entering into our spreading the tea segment. That's not gossip, you guys. That's actual
It's not?
tea.
Dang. So we're going to have a spot of
That's,
tea.
that's another show. That's another
A
show.
spot
but
of
it's
tea,
not
are
mine.
we?
The
Nice.
tea. You have some tea in front of you,
The tea.
and it's lemon leaf tea. And so as you're tasting it, think
Yes.
about the thoughts, the smell, and anything else that you might want to expound on
Right.
after I share the ingredients of this tea as well as the benefits.
It definitely smells like lemon. You have a crumpet with these.
Yes. So lemon leaf is the only ingredient in that other than agave. Oh, see, I never use sugar, only agave honey or, or monk
It's
fruit.
smooth on me palate. It's very tasty.
Oh my.
You know what? You don't taste the sugar. I definitely taste the agave.
Oh my gosh. So you know what agave tastes like? Or you just saying that?
I'm just saying that. I don't know why I'm talking in the British accent, but when you have a spot of tea, let me stop.
Yeah, no, go right ahead.
This is actually
This is the actual
very
ingredient.
tasty. And I've started to drink tea a little bit more. Green tea, black men, prostate. Look up on that. But have started to drink tea more. And this is amazing.
Well, I'm glad you like it. The benefits of the tea is that it relieves anxiety.
I feel so cold.
It lowers cholesterol. It boosts oral health. Yes, it does.
Oral?
Yeah, oral
My voice is stronger. You know, it's like it's instantaneous. This tea is amazing.
It also boosts your red blood cell levels.
I'm not going to cut myself to see if that's true, but keep going.
You can. We'll pause. We'll pause. It relieves bloating. Why? Because it stimulates the kidney, right?
Ooh.
It kind of serves as a diuretic to help
Right.
stimulate.
So this
the
is
kidney.
this is better than Pepto-Bismol? Is that what you're saying?
I don't want to make that claim. He said it. I didn't.
Okay.
It might. I don't know. It just might. So I'm glad that you. In fact, you drink all of it.
I like having fun. It really is good, you guys. It really is.
Mr. Martin, I'd like to know what your thoughts are about the writer's strike and what is the reason for it.
Yeah, that's a great question. Obviously, being an actor, it's going to affect me in some way, affect the industry overall. But if you check the story out, do some research and really get into it, they make a great case for wanting a bigger wage or better earnings. Some of the stuff that's these shows nowadays are being put on other streaming networks without the residuals from it. And I think if anybody honestly looks at that, you can see what their gripe is about that. Why they're seeking more money, and it's nothing exorbitant, but it's fair. Actors, we get residuals. Thank you to everyone that comes to my mailbox. So I could see, the writers like, hey, you're saying what I wrote. Can I get some? You know what I mean? Then I think that makes great sense. And I hope that it doesn't last long. I saw some stories where SNL is about to dry up, may not be on, and it'll trickle down. So I hope that they figure it out, because this entertainment business is lucrative. Don't ever let them try to tell you it's not. And a sliver of the pie, a piece of the pie for some people who keep the engine churning, the writers, I think is only fair.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you, but there are somebody out there that didn't really understand what you mean by SNL. Can you
Oh,
tell 'em?
Saturday Night Live.
Okay. Everybody's not watching
Like,
Saturday Night
right,
Live. so it's like-
SNL, LOL. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, right.
Is it an emoji or what is it?
Right,
What do you
is
call it?
exactly. For those Saturday Night Live.
Saturday Night Live. Yeah, I've heard that it is if this writer's strike, and that is the film writer's strike, continue, that a lot of daytime shows,
Right.
nighttime shows,
Right.
that we may start seeing repeated shows
Yep.
instead of seeing current.
Yeah, I saw that too with the soap operas. Right. Yeah,
Has it started
no,
already?
but you're talking about the late night shows like yeah, for man, I don't even watch them. So I'm saying like Leno and Letterman, who I obviously know are off air, but Seth Meyers, but shows like that, Daily Central, and then like you said, the soap operas. I saw that story too. Like those would be the first shows that would be affected. Obviously, because you got so much copy, or you're writing that stuff for every day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So it takes me to my next question.
Another question?
Yeah, absolutely. At least one more.
Okay.
At least one more. You do these silent events,
Wow.
right? I like to
Yes.
know how
Nice
did you
research.
get started?
Yeah.
How did you get started? And expound on it for those who are listening
Absolutely.
to us who don't know what I'm talking about.
The business is Silence Activations, www.silenceactivations.com. Your one-stop shop for silent parties. We, to let you know, first of all, the silent party has been around almost 15 years. It's where you have a set of headphones. It's got three switches on the side for the blue, red, and green stations, and then the volume on the other side to control it. Then you got these pieces of equipment. They're transmitters, and that's what they do. They transmit the signal in the air, and then the headphone receives it. So you have three separate ones. And then you can plug in a music source, whether it be your phone, MP3 player, iPod, pad, DJ's equipment can also, your DJ can play through these. And the premise is you can bring so many people together because you can have a hip hop station. And for the people who don't really dig hip hop, who want to sing 80s Madonna, you can have an 80s station. And for people who don't like either one of those and want to do Latin music, you can have a Latin station. And they can all switch through these throughout the night. It is one of the best things I've ever gotten involved in business-wise. Was introduced to the business in 2017 by Jonathan Colon. Shout out to him. And he knew just the way I was. I love music. We've known each other since I really first moved here in 2009 and been on some other business ventures together. But he was like, I know this. He was searching it out. This was like in the winter of 2016. He was letting me know come spring of 2017, da 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 da. And I mean, when he called me and we did our first one in April of 2017 with another company, I was sold. We started doing events, started making our footprint. And then 2 years later, with another guy, Simon Rimmer, big shout out to the big dog, Simon. November 2019, Silence Activation was born, only to walk right into a pandemic 4 months later with equipment piled up to the ceiling. Like, well, God, Jesus, please, could you move the COVID along so we can do events?
It's so interesting you
And
said
try to
that.
make some money. Lord Jesus, please. So, but we get through the pandemic. It is one of the best things you can do on a small scale, 25, 30, 40 headphones at your house, graduation parties, or we do ones as big as 2,500, 3,000 headphones. We're going to Daytona to do a 3,500 headphone party in July with North Point Ministries. Kids love them. Adults really dig them because older people like ourselves of a certain age, we know 70s, we know 80s, and we know today's hip hop. So you have a wide range of music. It's one of the things that will get people to put their phones down and get boys and men to dance. Go to a silent party, you're going to see every brother doing their Michael Jackson. Okay? Yeah, you're going to, every one of them doing their thing, doing the WAP. Ladies love it. And it's also the last thing about it, it's really awesome, is the sound ordinance. Nowadays, all these places, so many venues are like 10 o'clock, cut it, shut it down. But, because of the noise, you can't have the beat or the live DJ playing through the venue or playing at the hotel or playing outside. You put the headphones on, you can go all night. So it's really a great business. And one more time, Silence Activations, www.silenceactivations.com. I crack myself up, but
I'd like to know one more thing.
Sure.
Is there a dance that can be done that doesn't look like you offbeat when you are at that type of event? Because sometimes when you see the video, it's like, okay, people are dancing,
Right.
but they're not in sync with each other, right?
Right.
And so I'm just wondering, is there a dance? Like, for example, when people say, when you are on set, when you're filming
Yeah.
and you're pantomiming, I always say watermelon.
Well,
Watermelon. Because watermelon, if you say it slowly or somewhat fast, watermelon, it appears as if you're really
having a
a
conversation.
conversation.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there is a dance that could be done
Huh.
that in sync with just about any song.
We get this far and you ask the tough questions. Is there a dance? Is there a dance? In all seriousness, it's people boogieing. Right. Most of the time, like I said, you see all the dance moves. So no, there's nothing in particular. Just a lot of wild gyrating and people seeing one person on another color and whatever dance move they're doing, whatever they may be doing. If he's doing the cameraman and he's over there getting it, I'm about to do the cameraman because it's the song. The music hits you in your ears like a Sony Walkman or like your pods, your ear pods, and it's intense, and people will go into their own zone, and you'll be like, "What are they doing?" Yeah. So the dance is your own dance. I've seen a lot of them. A
Oh,
lot of them.
well, thank you so much for sharing knowledge that transform lives.
I try.
And tell our audience how they can connect with you.
You can connect with me. Trying to build an Instagram as always. Hit me up on C Martin ATLP CMartin ATLP. Yeah, follow me. Check out what I'm doing.
And you're going to enjoy him thoroughly. If you invite him to an event, he's not the same all the time. He reinvents him time, right?
Right.
Like, do they call that a chameleon?
Right, you got to read the room. Like, okay, these old white people are not about to feel the butt. Don't play that. But yeah, you got to read the room, bring the energy, connect with people. One of the main reasons I love being in this business is the people, and just anybody who's out there doing entertainment or anything in life. HWPO, hard work pays off. Nothing comes to a dreamer. You got to put the work in.
Absolutely. In closing, love is irrefutable. It is. It is unpredictable. It does not, it is kind. It cannot be purchased or sold. And you deserve to be loved. Thank you for joining us here at Love Manifesto Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Tangi, and you can connect with me by going to drtangi.com. Peace and love.